It's an 11 to 18 school, 1,350 students, about 1,000 of those are in the lower school, and it's on the southern side of York.
Now, my name is Richard Reeser, and I'm leading the workshop. I'm assistant.
The school has always been a very supportive environment to be in. I think there's always been strong anti-bullying policies, etc. I think we've tried to develop that this year in terms of really trying to put pressure on the students to be reporters of bullying, to raise their own awareness of key issues.
The Act says that a person has a disability if they have a physical, which is me. I had polio when I was a kid. You will see me getting out of this chair and walking. It's not a miracle. It's just that I prefer to be in this chair because it's easier. But I can walk with a stick, but if I put the stick there, in the circle means that it comes within this definition. It is a disability under the Act, so you are protected from discrimination and harassment. Will it affect you doing normal day-to-day things? Yeah. Put it in the circle, please. Okay.
I wanted a mix of students who would have an insight and would have lived and experienced some of the issues which we were looking to deal with, and people who I felt had got a strong sense of moral compass.
Having a second problem would be in class and sort of workplaces. If you do have issues with remembering and reading things, you could have the resources. It's about having the resources in place.
The effect of having some of our disabled students within the group as well has been really, really valuable.
And what I want you to think about is these three types of barriers. All right, now let's have an example of a barrier.
In schools might not have the proper facilities to deal with disabled children when there's a real fire emergency, so that could be a real problem.
Deaf people can't hear alarms or noise signals, so like sometimes a fire alarm would occur.
So the past couple of days so far I've been really, really impressed with. I think it's been quite enlightening for some of the children to realise how just the casual language that is used is really something that needs to be stamped out.
I think it's a case of informing students about what language can and can't be used, giving a context to why that language is unacceptable, and challenging things which have maybe been standbys for quite some time.
We're making a mind map of different words which could be negative to describe disabled people or positive to describe disabled people.
The next part of the task, which created quite a bit of shock, was to circle all words that would be negative and that you wouldn't want you or your friend to be called. 95% of them were negative.
They're the same, because most people think they're different from us. I think we need to tell them that they're the same. They're the same as us, just like anyone else.
Yeah, we've learned the origins of bullying and like how it affected and how it started and all these like aggressive and defensive words came from.
I'd like people to put these underneath the timeline we've got here on the wall.
One of the things that's really hit home with the students on this course is the kind of depth of the history.
I've learned a lot more about the history of disableist bullying and how it dates back to hundreds of years ago, especially the Greek times and going through to, medieval times too, where people have, tortured people just for being who they are, and I found that really appalling.
It kind of surprises me, being disabled myself, how much prejudice there has been against disabled people throughout history and throughout time.
After the successful first day, it was my feeling that the workshop had left a fairly negative idea, the history, the language. So to start the second day, we looked at disabled people who've made a difference, whether it be Nelson, Julius Caesar, Stevie Wonder, Pablo Pineda, Beethoven, or Cherry Burnell presenting at the BBC.
So this morning we've started planning for the presentation that we're going to put on this afternoon.
So you're going to have to go around and see what they're doing and fit it in, and then you're going to have to script the bits in between. You can talk to me to get facts and information that you want. Okay? So we got...
And it was really interesting to see this morning how all the students had gone home after quite a sombre and more, academic and educational day yesterday, getting all the facts and the information and the history, how they've obviously gone home, been mulling it over overnight, been thinking of ideas for this presentation, and you can really see the energy this morning, how many different fantastic ideas they've got to put into this presentation.
Like that. I'm sorry, but you're offending her and she has feelings.
At the moment we're making a PowerPoint which is going to have all different types of media in it. We're going to display some posters that people have made onto the screen.
We want to also we're using words like banter because we're trying to appeal to the Year 10s, and we think that this is the reason why they use discriminating language.
I'm going to be presenting the posters and talking about what they're about and who's on them and things. Basically, I'm just trying to say that even though they have a disability, they can still achieve things in life.
For the last day and a half, we have explored subjects surrounding disableist bullying in a workshop. A variety of kids, both disabled and non-disabled, were involved, and the general views of everyone were changed hugely after understanding the history of disableist bullying.
I think by doing this assembly tomorrow, it will raise a lot of awareness to the year, and by educating the older years, I think it will adapt through all of the years.
How did you say that to me? Why can't we just be friends?
What have I ever done to you?
Now, the three words that we used that we heard, the first one was mongi. Now, mongi was originally used by a doctor to describe babies with Down syndrome, as he said that they looked as if they had Mongolian such features. The second word is spaz, which is used to describe people of cerebral palsy, which is what I have, when they have spasmic attacks. Then the final word, retard, was actually used to describe people that are slower to react than others.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world.
Through the time of the workshop, Carrie and Ebony have been making posters about anti-bullying. So, Ebony, what's the inspiration for your posters?
It's just like being able to tell people that they don't have to bully and they don't have to say the stuff they do. Even if they do it on purpose, it can still hurt somebody.
What's the main message you want people to get from these posters?
That they don't have to bully, and it's okay to tell if somebody is being bullied.
Life goes on, the teachers missed it, it's every tear a waterfall.
We changed the teachers missed it because when she tried to tell people, no one listened to her, so they just carried on with normal lives. And when they realised that no one was going to do anything about it, they started getting worse, the comments. And one day someone realised, and that's when we changed it to in that day, the peaceful day. Something changed for her.
I just think that I've changed today looking at these 4 hours, so I think other people can change really easily. But it's just if people want to change, that's the main thing. It's people's attitude towards this.
Disableist bullying, just stop.
Since we did the workshop at Fulford School, the young ambassadors from the workshop have carried out assemblies for year 7, 8 and 9 against disableist bullying, and Ebony's poster has been designed properly and gone up all around the school.